Genesis up. All right, Genesis, it's your turn, even though you're not going to stay on topic either. Go ahead, Genesis.
So I had the wrong name. It was Senator Bradford is the one, and he sponsored the bill.
Senator Bradford.
And the
Okay.
reason
Yeah, he's the state senator, right?
yeah,
Okay.
I got it wrong. Senator Bradford sponsored the bill, and then the what we think is the Congressional Black Caucus behind his back took the bill off the ledger in the middle, in the middle of the night. We were waiting to see if they were going to pass the bill, but they secretly took it off the ledger, so it wouldn't even be brought up, right? But meanwhile, they brought up the other bills, and the people were dancing. The Mexicans were dancing outside. The Asians were dancing outside because they got this bill passed. But they the whole thing that was happening up front was people just trying to bring the bill to the actual floor. So Senator Asahi, he brought it to the floor. Then they said, well, no, it's out of order. But they've been doing things out of order the whole time. They were like, well, that's not in order. We have other bills that we're passing. And so he says, well, can I try to get a vote to bring it to the floor? Nobody would vote to bring it to the floor.
And now, was Bradford a part of the original reparations committee? Because as I understand, there is already a committee.
Well, I'm not sure
because what I'm thinking is that the problem was, and I'm sorry, and I'll let you go after this, but I'm thinking what it was is that Bradford was not a part of the initial committee. And again, it's not all black people too. There's like an Asian guy on there or something like that. And so he brought the bill up. And so basically the Congressional Black Caucus, instead of working with him, they was all like, shit, we don't know what this is. We ain't gonna pass this. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think it was either he was Hispanic, or it was because it was a Hispanic guy that brought it up. The Black Caucus didn't bring it up. A Hispanic guy came up and brought it up. And then no one voted to keep it on the floor. And what happened is the Black Caucus says, well, we have our own reparations bill that we're trying to pass. So rather than passing this one, they wouldn't get behind this one.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So now we got to wait until next year to bring it back to the floor. And represent it.
Okay, yeah, that's why I'm glad you came up, because I wanted to clarify that. So do you know what the difference is between his bill and then the other one? Like, because here's the thing, like, people feel like they talk for the black community, and like, we don't know who the people are who are supposedly talking for the black community. So who are the people behind the bill that that Senator Bradford was behind? Who's behind that bill?
You know what? I don't know who's behind that, but I know that the bill is called SB 1331, and it was supposed to be about like a fund for reparations, to create a fund. Who is
1331, right?
Yeah, it's 1331, and it's SB 1331 and SB 1403. I'm not sure who is the person. So basically, 1403 is the foundation that would create the California American Freedom Affairs Agency to administer all future reparations. 1331 will establish an account in the state treasury for the purpose of funding reparations policies approved by the legislator and the governor. So they were just trying to get those two bills passed, as well as SB 1050 would provide restitution for Californians who lost homes, who had their land taken without fair compensation. So they tried to get those just brought up, and the Black Caucus just wouldn't get behind it because they had their own agenda they wanted to push, that what they wanted to do. So, and I didn't really know that the Black Caucus had that much power. Like, wow.
Yeah, they do. They basically run everything when it comes to government. They're very powerful people. I'm wondering, because Bradford is black and it says he's a Democrat, why is he? Well, he's not in Congress. He's a state senator. That's probably why. But I don't know how come he didn't work with them on it. That's why I'm still trying to get information about that, because I'm wondering why he didn't work with them, like on the bill with them.
That's a good question. I mean, and I can ask around, because I've been talking to these guys, because now they're considering legal, a lawsuit against the Black Caucus at this point. it's getting into legal. So yeah.
Yeah, because they should have worked on this together. Like I don't know why they had two separate bills. And I know there's the 1403. Didn't that one get put through or no?
I don't know if that one got put through, but I know those two didn't get put through. Wait, no, 1403 didn't get put through. None of those bills got put
It
through
didn't. Oh.
because the Black Caucus, they had their own, and then there's I sent you in Instagram their bill that they were trying to that they're gonna pass, but they're gonna. I guess maybe they want to wait to see if Kamala gets elected and then try to present it so that they can maybe push it even further to federal. But they want to be the one behind it. They don't want it to
Mhm.
be. Oh, okay. The reparations task force. That's so.
Yes, task force. Yeah.
That's what.
That's why I was confused because I was all like, well, there is like a task force, but I don't know why did he have his own bill and like who was also behind it. Because here's the thing, I don't think the bill is going to be put through saying reparations. We're going to have to call it the potato salad bill. Because if you call it
I almost
reparations,
spit out my
the
dang on
white people are going to get nervous. So
the
you got to
chicken
call it
wing bill.
potato salad.
The chicken wing bill, huh?
The chicken wing, yeah, the
The
chicken wing
watermelon.
bill. Yeah, you got to call it the chicken wing bill.
I almost spit my drink out when he said that.
No, I'm serious. Like you can't call it that. Just like the Native Americans, theirs is not called reparations. When the Japanese got it, it wasn't called reparations. When the Jewish people got it, it wasn't called reparations. Like I forgot what the names are that they use, but it's all different names.
And I think that the task force has probably built up a bunch of different organizations, maybe some of the ADOs, some of the FBAs, but it
Hmm.
got really heated. We were watching it all night long, and because we were hoping, we were just waiting to see, like maybe they'll bring it up. People were calling Senator Bat Bradley, and then finally we got told that it got taken off the ledger. So we was like, wow, that's crazy. They
Hmm.
like snuck behind and just removed it, so they would have
Right.
no chance, and that's insane. Because I mean, even if because couldn't they have just teamed up? Like once it got passed, then the Black Caucus could have teamed up with the task force and then said, okay, well, we need to like create an amendment and include what we're talking about to it. Why does it have to be all
Yeah.
or nothing?
Well, one of the things, the challenges in California, this is why the California Dream for All. I mean, it's already a program, but the part about the immigrants, the illegal immigrants getting it, that part might not be signed because right now Gavin Newsom is basically he doesn't want to. The budget is over in California, and so that's what he's scared of. But I don't even think he can run for re-election. But I guess on a national scale, because I guess they're trying to, prop him up for president and stuff like that. But he's worried about the spending and stuff like that. And so that could be the reason why they held back on it. Like, oh, well, he's probably not going to sign it anyway. But I do agree that something should have been put forward. Something.
But oddly enough, before the bill got presented, it was supported by everyone. It seemed to be because people were saying they was going to support it, but then when they brought it up to get seconded, to get brought to the table, nobody raised their hand to second it. So I'm like, well, where was this support at? It was crazy. I'm
Hmm.
like, so I guess that support they thought they had, it wasn't there. And another thing I wanted to say is NACA is a grueling process, by the way.
Right, that's what Libra was saying. Yeah, because Miss Barber said all you have to do is just apply for it, but it's not.
It takes about a year because if you have like a 500 credit score, like maybe a 540, maybe because if you're not close to six, if you ain't at 620 when you get there, they are going to put you through. I mean, they gonna want it's gonna be like an FBI level background check of your finances. They're gonna want to know
Mm.
blood type, everything. And then they're gonna want you to keep like every month you gotta keep reporting that. If you spend $1 at Taco Bell, they're gonna be like, okay, why'd you spend $1 at Taco Bell? You gotta like it's pretty much a credit
Wow.
counseling combined with like buying a house. So they're gonna like they're gonna be very all up in your business about every little thing you do because you gotta give them a bank account. But the only good side is that here's the thing is that you get to buy the house through NACA But once you buy the house, I think that you have to still only sell the house through NACA. Like if you, when you go to like finally sell your house, I don't think that you could just sell it. Like they still kind of own the house, right? So
Mm.
like it's you have to still stay with them throughout the whole process and this, that, the other. And on top of that, and they they want you to promote for them and be like their marketer. They want you to be a part of their business. And but NACA started by Capital One was a program that started in 2010 when they had all that predatory lending going on, and they created
Hmm.
that program to like help people out with to stop the predatory lending process. So
Right. Wells Fargo, very predatory.
but they have a similar program at Bank of America for African Americans. I'm not sure if it still exists, but I know back about a year ago they had that program when I was looking for another house. So I mean that so that NACA is not the only program that they have for African Americans focused toward or like low income, because NACA is not just for African Americans, it's for like low income people trying to get a house. But you're gonna go through
Right.
hell. They're gonna put you through a rigorous process. I mean, buying the house is already rigorous as it is, and but add about
Right.
times 10 with NACA. Okay, just divide times that 10. But I would say if you really are serious and you got all your paperwork in order and you're a really organized person, try to get the NACA loan. And if you really got your paperwork, you really, I mean, everything you could think of, like all your
Hmm.
like you damn near got to be an accountant with them. I got out that program a long time ago. I said, oh hell no, this is too much. I mean, dang, I'm like, God, y'all want to know? Y'all, then you got to go and have meetings with them every few months, and man, it was crazy.
Yeah, that don't sound like fun. Yeah, that ain't something that I want to do. No, no, thank you.
They screwed the heck out of you. So, I mean, I think that I was even asking, well, why does it have to be California that passes the reparations bill? Can it be some other state? And can people bring it up in another state? So apparently, California sets a precedent. So it has to get passed through California in order for the rest of the country to take it on.
Well, I believe Illinois has something going on too. It's not just California; it's a few other states. I believe Illinois and New Jersey are the
Well, that
other.
that sets a precedent whenever they pass a bill.
No, no, no. I mean, that have like a reparations thing going on,
Right.
like are trying to get reparations approved for their people in their state.
So like apparently if it didn't get passed in California, then those other states are going to follow suit that are democratic. California is like the leader of the democratic states. So they follow whatever they do kind of thing. The other democratic states apparently. So
Is there any Republican states that are trying to get it put through?
not that I know of. No.
Oh, okay. No, I was just trying to make a little point. But anyway.
Right. Everybody like, yeah, Trump, Republican. But yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
good
just like
point.
when you were talking about the housing, there is a program, I forgot what it's called, but there is one for black people, African Americans, whatever, ADO, whatever you want to call us, indigenous, whatever. But
Foundational Black Americans.
right, yeah, foundational. Anyway.
You gotta say foundational Black Americans, like foundational Black Americans.
Foundational, yeah. But that's the thing with this whole Supreme Court thing. And this is why I'm voting the way I'm voting, because the Supreme Court, basically anything that's geared towards any kind of marginalized group, they're getting rid of all those programs or striking them down. And then you got to look at the state level for things to happen. But sometimes the state isn't going to push anything. So it's a lot going on, you
I
guys.
think
It's
we
a
should all
lot.
vote independent for Dr. Claude, Dr.
Oh Lord, here we go. So why you want to vote for him? I'll give you an
Dr.
opportunity.
Cornel West.
Convince the people. You can't convince me, but convince the people.
Because he's grassroots. I mean, you have like right now, it's either Kamala or Trump, and no one is looking at the other candidates. No one's looking at the independent candidates. I mean, he's out
Do
there
you,
fighting. He was out there outside the Democratic National Convention fighting with the people. He's like a for the people person. So to me, a person that's not afraid to get down on the ground and like be grassroots and really deal with the people. I think that's the thing that we're missing in like any kind of a presidential candidate, because these people are so far removed from the people. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have any like real. knowledge and really understanding of what's like really happening really in the neighborhoods and stuff like that.
Right. So do you know that originally he was supposed to be the head of the Green Party, but him and Jill Stein got into it and he said like the Green Party is racist, and so now there's the split between the Green Party and the For the People Party. Is that what his party is called, For the People?
I think
I
so.
heard, yeah, something like that. So there's like a split between all these independent voters. And I never knew that until recently, and I talked about it actually the last show that I did about politics. I talked about the whole third party thing, and so I honestly feel that with the third party, you have to have the money. That's how you really win politics. It's all about the money.
Yeah.
Whoever has the most money is who is going to be. And I just don't know if Cornel West. He honestly, to me, Cornel West is one of those Bernie Sanders crazy people. They still want Bernie to be the president, even though he's 80 some years old. You got to let that 2016 Bernie shit go.
Okay, but I say this: I would rather. I mean, I think that it probably been even better if Bernie ran around this time because when you only have two candidates to choose from, one person that's still going through indictments and everything like that, going to court for like whatever he did or whatever, and then you have a person named Kamala who's saying, "I'm not going to do anything particularly for the African American, community."
Do you know that was in 2019?
So that was in 2019.
Yeah, that was the Griot interview. And a lot of people just take that clip and because she didn't say, I'm not going to do anything for black people. The whole in term, what she was saying, and I'm paraphrasing, is that these policies that I have are going to benefit black people. And if it benefits black people, it's going to benefit everyone. And she said, I can't just say I'm only going to do stuff for black people. That was the full context of her conversation. But again, people just take the little clip and then run with that clip and be like, oh, she said, you know.
Well, you know what? They had me fooled.
This is why we talk about research.
Right. Thank you for clarifying that. I got to go find that whole thing because I was on the hate train too. Like, God dang it, how dare!
Yeah, it's actually 20 minutes. The whole conversation is about 20 minutes. I wanted to. This makes me think like, okay, I need to hurry up and do that video where we actually go line by line by line of what she said during that time.
Yeah, I think so because I think that's one of the biggest pain points of like that the whole FBA movement is her saying that. That's one of their biggest like things. Kamala said she's not going to do nothing for black people. So it makes you think, well, dang, well, why would we want to vote her in? And she's not going to do that. And then Trump is acting like he gonna do it for the black people, right? And that's why I said, well, Cornel West, I think he probably would have passed reparations before either one of them would. If she says she's not gonna do it for black people, and Trump, he I don't know if he gonna tell the truth or tell a lie. I think that the better bet of getting some kind of a reparation situation would be through an independent party.
Yeah. And I would say this too. This is the other thing about Cornel West. I trust me, reparations, criminal justice reform, all that stuff I am down with. I just don't think his platform being a black platform is going to be the winning platform. This is why you're not going to hear a Kamala Harris say, oh, I'm just going to be a champion for only black people. That doesn't win on the national level. Now, you can go around saying that I'm going to be a president for white people and still win. Clock that. But being a black candidate going around saying that you're going to only do things for black people or be a champion only for black people, that's not going to work. Obama had to play it safe, and so does Kamala have to play it safe.
But Cornel West is not only talking about black people. He's also talking about like the war and everything like that. Like the thing is he has a very huge Islamic base against the atrocities that's going on over there. So
which I totally agree with. But here's the thing. Say his votes take away from Kamala. The Trump is talking about obliterating and getting rid of Gaza in general.
Oh my God.
where you have at least like just today, they asked Joe Biden, they were like, do you think that Netanyahu, the Israel prime minister, do you think that he wants to get a ceasefire deal? He was like, no. And he said it like he was pissed because they've been talking to the negotiators all morning, and that Netanyahu guy doesn't want to do the ceasefire because he wants control over the border in Egypt and between Gaza and all this other crazy shit. But it's all like literally everybody wants the hostages freed. And at this point, there's so many people in Gaza dying, and you have the hostages, which six of them, they're claiming that Hamas was the one that killed them. But Hamas is saying, no, those hostages died from the bombings that Israel is doing. So we really don't know who is doing what. Because Israel's setting up that they killed those hostages because they were getting ready to, find them and stuff like that. But Hamas is saying, no, it's all those bombings. And so I'm worried about those bombings because I always thought like, okay, if they're bombing the civilians, who to say they're not bombing the hostages?
That's true. And they make
I always said that.
Right. And let me tell you something. America done bombed some places too, and caged some people real bad and everything like that. The wrong people.
Yeah, but I feel like we would get our feet held to the fire. Like, why don't they say anything about Israel?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also a situation. Now, tell me if you think this is true or not. Mm-hmm. So, if you understand about China and Russia, right? Like the moment that that Kamala stated that she was going to be the running for president, China and Russia actually sent fighter jets to Alaska. Were you aware of that?
I remember hearing something about that. Like there was some kind of alert that I think it was Russia. I don't think it was China, but it was some kind of.
I thought it was both of them.
No, Russia had the submarine in Cuba.
Right, but they also both sent fighter jets to Alaska, and they got intercepted. So here's the thing. All right, so Kamala becomes president. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but there is a bunch of like Chinese farmland right next to all the military bases in America. The Chinese have set up farms right adjacent to every military base we have. Do you think that Kamala, as a president, will be able to handle anything that would happen if in that case, if something like that would happen?
I'm trying to make the correlation between the farmland. Like, do we think there's bombs in the farmland? Like,
well, they kind of like deduced that those are really like not really farmland, but actually like really like strategic placement of China in America to be able to create like an insurrection of some sort. And then you actually get into the migrant situation. You had a combination of Russians and Chinese that were coming over the borders, along with the people from like South America and this, that, the other. So we don't know how many people were like spies from another country or whatever. So that's the only thing that I'd be wondering is would she be able to handle something like that? You know what I'm saying?
Well, and speaking of the border, I think that's a lot of common misconception regarding like whether or not they're vetting the people, because what people are making it seem like, oh, they're just letting terrorists through the border and stuff like that. Like you still have to be vetted when you come to through the border. Like they just don't let you in.
So how do you think all those Venezuelan people are in Colorado breaking into apartment complexes and kicking everybody out and taking over entire apartment complexes, robbing jewelry stores? They're in New York canning police officers and all type of stuff. They're like doing the most, like the gangs. So how they vet the gangs? They were coming over in such a large amount. It's hard to vet that many people.
I heard about the Venezuelan thing, but I'm not too sure how much of that is true and versus propaganda. Yeah, I honestly because I seen this video of this lady having like something against her door, like so it didn't get kicked in or something like that. But I'm all like, how are just because here's the thing, how are the Venezuelans just taking over this place in Colorado? Like, that's why I'm not understanding,
It is
like,
kind of
what do
weird.
they mean they're just taking?
They showing about 4 or 5 of them kicking in somebody's door with like a machine gun, and lady it was up in there, and then they were having a shootout. And yeah, it was a bunch of stuff going on in that whole thing. So what it is that there was a landlord. I guess they had sold the property to a new management company, and that they had they had made the place vacant or like uninhabitable. So
Mhm.
they served a lot of evictions, and they were trying to fix the place up. I guess in the middle of that, then here comes this gang, and they began to kick everybody out, and then now they have seized that apartment building. But I'm not sure, like what the it was weird. So
Yeah, I have to see how that all went down. I'll definitely do a show on that.
and then
Because I
she
did hear
was
something about it, but I was all like, "Oh, I'm
and
not sure what this is."
here's the thing: was Kamala was the border czar, wasn't she?
No, she was not the border czar. Here we go.
Okay, so let's please. Okay,
Again, so her job at the border was to find the root causes of why all these migrants are coming. So what she did was a tour of South America to help them out and give them aid or whatever they needed to basically keep their people where they are. Because remember, after COVID, it was like those caravans that they were saying and stuff like that. And so basically, she partnered with South and Central America to find the root causes of what was going on. She wasn't the border czar, like she wasn't over the border all like I'm gonna take these borders. No, that's not what it was. It was to go ahead and find the root causes to stop them from coming.
hey, I'm just saying the things that I've heard out here that
Yes.
I did
No, and
not
I'm happy that
think.
you're saying it because like a lot of people and we were just talking about this earlier. You'll have to go back and rewind, but like people will just say anything and then they'll run with it. And it's all like, did you look it up? Just like the anti-Asian hate crime bill. It's not even called an anti-Asian hate crime bill. It's literally for everybody. And just like the California the dream for all wait California Dream for All program. That's for everybody. It's not just for immigrants, but immigrants weren't able to take advantage of it even though they're paying taxes. If they pay taxes, then they should be able to benefit for the program. That's what they're trying to figure out. So everybody's allowed to have it, but the way that the titles are, oh, they're just giving it to illegals.
Well, I'm like I said, I'm glad I got to come up here and explain some of the things I've been hearing because I'm not really into politics like that.
Hmm.
So I'm just like now hearing all like the borders are and then the legal people was dancing outside the thing and then this that the other. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad that you know the details of that and you do the research. 'Cause I mean, I've been doing a little bit more research once I've started hearing about this stuff and getting more into politics. But a lot of people just not are in the just are not into politics like that to know everything.
Yeah. And Prissy brings up a good point. There's a difference between political refugees and immigrants. And that's what I was wondering too with the Venezuelans. Like, are they refugees? Because according to what's going in the media, they saying that the Venezuelan president is a dictator. So that's why I'm all like, okay, well, how did they get how did they get there? Like that's why I was like, I'm gonna do more research on that so then I can come back and like really say what it is.
Well, I'm glad to get more details on that because, like I said, I've been just now getting into like Twitter. And Twitter is like its own like can of worms when it comes to because they've been like at the forefront of politics, and so you hear
Yeah.
and I've been also following Tariq Nasheed lately.
And I was just talking about Tariq Nasheed. I want to ask you, so what does Tariq Nasheed do for like the black community? Like, does he actually have like a program to like help us, or does he just talk about
Well, I
things?
think that whole foundational Black American thing is a movement that he's creating, as well as he has like the
Okay.
Hidden History Museum. He's put out a lot of different documentaries about like our African history, and he's kind of like become like a historian, so to speak.
Okay, but does he funnel any of that money back into the black community? Kind of like what Dr. Umar say he's building the school and still hasn't built it, but he says, "Oh, now there's a gymnasium, but there's no school to the gymnasium."
Well, I think he's done it by like creating his museum. He has like a whole, I think it's like a almost like a block, like a half a block of a museum that he has in,
Hmm.
I think, Oakland, and it's called the Hidden History Museum. He has, and then he has those movies. Like he has a new movie called
Wait,
Microphone
does
Check.
he live here in Oakland? Tariq Nasheed?
I don't know, but I think he
I know he's in California.
I'm not sure. I think if I look up the Hidden History Museum, I think it's in Oakland, as far as what I know. But or he just did an event in Oakland for a community event in Oakland. He does a lot of community.
No, it's in LA. The Hidden History Museum. It's in LA.
So is I'm
I'll have to
sorry.
check it out.
I'm not. How far is LA from Oakland? I thought they were in the same. I thought LA was
No,
a part of
no.
Oakland.
I live in the Bay Area, and that's Northern California. So that's like San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley, Hayward, Richmond, and then you have Southern California, which is LA, and then that's where you have the Santa Monica, Beverly Hills, all that stuff. That's 4 or 5 hours away from me.
Oh, okay, okay. I've been to California once. Went to San Jose one time, and I was in LA.
Oh, okay. San Jose is up here with me. Yeah. So San Jose is a part of the Bay Area too, but that's like the furthest part from the Bay Area. So yeah.
So he does like community events. He does. The main thing is his documentaries. He does the Hidden History, Hidden Colors series, like 1804. He just did a thing called Microphone Check. And here's another thing. Now there's about to be an argument that the Puerto Ricans and Caribbeans are like, we are FBA as well, because and technically they are, because Jamaica and the Caribbean, they are a part of North America.
Mm.
And they got brought over here during slavery, just like a lot of the slaves that came from
Well,
the Caribbean were brought to America. So I don't know, like that because what happens is it's becoming a thing where we're calling the FBAs are calling like anybody from the Caribbean or Africa tethers.
tethers. Yeah, that's the word that they use.
And they got a song called Musty Tether, and it's like a musty tether, and it's like, making fun of people, and
Oh
so
wow, that's very offensive.
it's almost becoming like its own racial slang, like a racial
Yeah, they
slur.
call them tethers. Here's the thing about that, and like I said, this is gonna have to be a different show for that. Um, I do believe that all black people should get reparations, but it needs to come from the people that colonized them. Like for example, in Haiti, they need to get their money from France because that's who colonized them. Same way with if we go with Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, all that, they need to get their money from Spain.
Spain, right?
Yeah.
And so that's
And
why I
then
think the
us, we need to get
separation
our money from the United States and so
that I
forth, so
think that's
forth.
the separation of the foundation. Why they want to separate the foundational Black Americans from Caribbean, so that we could basically
Jamaicans, the UK. That's who colonized them, the UK.
so they're trying to get this whole foundational Black American movement. Also, they're trying to dead the Pan African movement and only have Black Americans focus on being foundationally Black, because they're saying, well, you people say that you don't have a lineage, but you have a lineage here over 1,000 years in America. So because you have that lineage, we are focused on our rights that we need to have. So the FBAs were behind the actual reparation bill. The Foundational Black American Movement was behind that bill.
Right, right. But again, I feel
And
that
Tariq Nasheed is
depending on
the head of
who
that.
colonized them, that's where they need to get their money from. Like I don't feel, because I feel like, okay, then we're gonna take the pot away from America and then give it to these other places. And I guess Puerto Rico is technically a territory of the US, so maybe they would get it. But then
Mm,
you got some of them that say they know black. So that so yeah, that's gonna be. And let me say this too. A lot of people always know like, oh, black people just want reparations. People don't know Asians want reparations, Latinos want reparations. There are task forces for other races and ethnicities because they were discriminated against. Also, a lot of people think it's just slavery. No, it's also the whole history of what we've been through as far as discrimination policies against us, like Jim Crow and things like that as well too.
But I think the reason why they're trying to get the reparations is because that 40 acres and a mule comment that I guess was had a long time ago. I know the Asians built the railroad systems in America, so I'm not sure, but I think they already got reparations for that.
Only the Japanese got reparations. Chinese did not. Yeah, it's only a certain amount of,
Yeah, yeah, and I think they also got reparations for the Holocaust or some stuff like that too.
hmm
But another thing is that when it comes down to like that whole FBA movement, um, they are trying to pass certain laws in the thing. Tariq Nasheed at the head of that. So
hmm
so when you ask him what is he doing with that or whatever, I think that he's also going to be interviewing Donald Trump coming up.
Okay. Oh,
Yes.
listen, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so he did a call out to sit down with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump to find out what each person was going to do for the
And by the way, the people was eating you up in the chat. It's Kamala.
Kamala. Is that how you say? Okay,
Yeah,
Kamala.
Kamala.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm from. Listen, I'm from the Midwest, so it's Kamala to me. We call them Arabs. We don't call them Arabs. You know what I'm saying? We call them Arab, Kamala. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, what I was gonna say is, dang, I just lost my story. Oh yeah, so he put a letter out to both of them, and Donald Trump answered. So that's another thing that he's doing. So he's coming from a political standpoint as well as like I said, a historical standpoint. He's doing things within the community. He's grassroots as well. So yeah.
So, do you think that Kamala should have a conversation with whatchamacallit, with Tariq Nasheed?
Absolutely. Why? Why I would say that is because he's creating a whole movement of like young people that are embracing this FBA identity. So if you have like this new group, that's like a voter class of people, like the young group voter class. Back in the day, Obama really tried to focus on the black hip hop and whatever community. I think that if a president wants to like tap into that, the youth, they're gonna
Uh-huh.
want to get into like this new political movement with the FBA because it's
I don't
growing.
think she should have an interview with Tariq Nasheed because I had just read a tweet that he said. Um. Oh, damn. Where did it go? Um. It was something about. Okay, I can't find it on his page. It was probably from a couple of days ago. But basically, it was like disrespecting her in a
Well, saying
way,
that
and so I'm
She's
all.
not black, but she's trying to claim to be black. That's another thing. That was one heavy thing that they're trying to push is the fact that she states that she's black, but she really is a Indian American. She's not a foundational black American. So that's one of the points that he's saying that she's trying to tether on to us to get everybody all like emotional, but she doesn't claim to be black. She does at no point. So I think
Have you ever heard her say that she wasn't black?
well, no, she didn't say it, but what she was in the interview and then they asked her, and I think that she kind of skipped the question. She said, next question.
Yes, because Donald Trump is going around saying that he was at the NABJ event, and he was all like, "Oh, well, I didn't know she was black. I thought she was Indian. She turned black." And so Dana Bash asked her, well, what do you think about Trump's comments? And she was like, it's out of his same old playbook, right? And then she was like, do you want to say anything else? She was like, next question. Because why does she have to talk about a white man saying that she's not black? Why? If a white, because you light skinned in Genesis, so you can be something. I can say, oh well, you mix just because you light skinned. That would be ignorant, right?
Yeah.
So say if a white man was all like, well, Genesis, Genesis isn't black. She turned black. She's actually white. And
Right.
then somebody asks you about it, like, I mean, what, like, if it's a white person questioning your blackness, why would you want to even answer that?
Well, it's black people questioning her blackness too. That's what's even worse. And me having a lot of people that have like mixed friends. I kind of
Yeah.
think it's kind of messed up. They're looking
And
at her
she's from the
father.
Bay Area too. And the Bay Area here is very diverse. So we would consider her black. I mean, I would see if like she was like a Mariah Carey kind of black. I'd be like, hmm. But the phenotype is black. If you look at her sister is darker but looks black. Like you could tell, oh, okay, she might be a little mixed, but I would consider her black because of her life experience. She's been around black people. She was an AKA, went to a whatchamacallit, a HBCU, Howard. So it's not like she was raised only around Indian people.
Well, what they're also saying is that at some point she was kind of like claiming herself to be like the first Indian, nominee or something like that.
That was a title that they had, like first South Asian
South Asian, yeah.
senator, but that wasn't like her putting it out there like, "Hey, I'm a South Asian senator." That wasn't her.
Oh, okay. See,
That was a title that
hey,
they wrote in
I'm
the
glad we're
headline.
doing this. We are quelling all the like, because I guess I'm bringing all the disinformation that I've been seeing.
Right. I know because I was gonna cut this show off early, but then I was all like, "Well, Genesis is kind of." I'm happy that we're having this conversation
Yeah,
because
I had
again,
no
like,
idea. I was like anti her too. Like, God dang it, how dare she? I'm listening to what everybody else says.
right, because that crowd that you hang around with, they just like to say certain things and don't do actual research. Because you can go to interviews where they ask her if she's black, and she said all the time she is black. And then sometimes what they'll do is if she's having a conversation about her Indian heritage, they'll just clip that. But yeah, if you're asking about, oh, do you like this kind of Indian dish or something like that? Yeah, she's going to talk about
Her
her Indian
heritage,
culture if you're talking about Indian stuff,
man.
right?
Listen, these guys were getting on to her so bad because I think they were watching watching her speech at the Democratic National Convention. Her sister, and they were like, I think she said, my mom used to tell me, girl, you better get it together. She said something like, my mom told me, you better do what you got to do, or something like that. And I guess her neck kind of swirled like a little, like a black woman with her sister's.
Hmm.
And they were like, her mom is Indian. Her mom ain't gonna swirl her neck like that. They trying to make it out to be like they're trying to be a caricature of blackness. So
Yeah.
a lot,
Well,
a
I
lot of the
think
conscious
also
community
too.
feels the same way, and a lot of like, and that's that's the people I hang my little hang buddies of the conscious community,
Hmm.
and so that's the part is that they're really
But here's my question to you, Genesis, because again, a lot of the conscious community, and especially celebrities, they want to get all political around, the time of the election, but not doing anything like after or, the years before. And then they tell us not to vote. So, what option do we really have? Like, why aren't they offering us any option?
that's a good question, but
Like, because
I
the
think
option that
our
they're offering us
financial.
are not feasible. It's just don't vote, and then okay, well we see what happened because the ramifications for Hillary not winning in 2016, and I will always say she was a bad candidate. Now she won the popular vote, but not the electoral college. But one of the ramifications for not having Hillary in office is now we have the Supreme Court basically taking away any kind of taking away affirmative action, taking away women's reproductive rights, and so forth and so forth.
Yeah,
So it's all like those things we don't think about, and then we want to tell people not to vote. And again, I know I'm talking more on the
and they
macro
and they pretty
scale.
much are pushing not to vote,
Yeah,
they're also, but right now it seems like the conscious community is starting to now get more behind Trump.
right. And then that's scary because it's all like, okay, you're getting behind Trump, but before he left office, he made sure that there were people on death row, specifically black men, who got executed. And then going back to the Supreme Court is shutting down everything, and they're basically saying that DEI, the diverse, equity, inclusion, is basically like the new N word, and like all those programs are basically getting shut down, and and basically making it seem like, okay, well, black people aren't getting the job off of merit, they're getting it based off of race. And so it's a lot of contradictory shit that people say, oh, well, Trump is for the people and stuff like that. And it's so like, no, you don't even realize what's going on. Yeah, bump what he says, because of course he's going to say anything, just like any body is going to say anything that you want them to hear, right? But pay attention to the actual policies and what he's doing and how dangerous it is.
You know what? I'll never forget that when he got in office, he basically everything that Obama was doing to help people out. He passed every bill. He had to come back again and undid it. He undid everything, all the things that in the health thing and this, that, the other Obama did. He made that bill come back up again, and so I'm like, everybody forgot that. So I like,
yes, Genesis, yes, you get it.
yeah, I mean, I'm not for Trump, trust me, and I'm not for. I don't really, I don't know. I don't know who to vote for at this point. I would never vote for Trump again because I'm like, dude, isn't he like a warmonger? You know, so I don't know.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, like, I'm so glad that we're having this conversation, because a lot of people don't know. Like, a lot of people, again, are
He wanted to
probably
be
not
like a
involved in
dictator.
politics
Didn't he want to
until,
be like a dictator and he wanted to parade or some stuff like that? Like, well, it was really weird. Like, he wanted to have a
yeah, he did
parade.
want some kind of parade or something, but they didn't do it. But again, like, this is the thing. Like, a lot of people, they don't get political until it's time to vote. And it's all like, that's already too late to try to get political. And so they're just kind of grasping at anything and not paying attention. So I will say this, the political talk, that's not going to stop after the election. I'm going to keep it going, because there's a lot of people who don't know. And mind you, I have a small audience, you know, like, I know if I was talking about, say, for example, Jaguar Wright, there'll be like 300 people in the chat. Politics isn't that sexy, but I feel like it needs to be said, and maybe it needs to be through somebody like me, where you guys will
Yeah,
get it and understand it, you know?
because like you opened my eyes. I didn't know all that stuff. Thank you. You know, because I've been like I said,
Hold on. Melanin Queen, that's a lie. Trump does not have any plan for healthcare. They were just going to repeal it, and that's it. They do not have any plan for healthcare. That is a lie. There was nothing to replace it. They were literally going to strike it down, just like they're trying to overturn it again, and they have nothing in place. The only thing that Trump did correct was get rid of that. Remember, if you didn't have health insurance, you had to pay like $300 on your taxes or something like that. I
yeah.
agree with that. He got rid of that. Amen. Thumbs up for that. But other than that, they do not have a plan for healthcare. That is a lie. They just want to repeal it. Now, is Obamacare the best thing, or Affordable Care Act? Is that the best thing? No, absolutely not. But that is not true that he's trying to fix it. That is a lie. Go ahead, Genesis.
I have another question. So you talked about how he sent the people that were on death row. He sent them to get executed. But what about the people that he let free? Didn't he let a bunch of and pardon a whole bunch of people too?
Like the rappers, like Lil Wayne, Kodak Black, and stuff like. Well, they weren't on death row. First of all.
Angela Stanton King got the reason why she was such an avid Trump promoter.
Yeah, because she got a pardon. Yeah,
Yeah, she got let out of jail.
listen, we need to talk about Angela Stanton, stank ass King, a different
Oh
episode. But that's
no,
why
you don't like
she's
her.
for.
I actually like her. I don't know why.
That's why she's for Trump, because he gave her a full pardon. It was nothing to do with like, oh, I like his policy. So, I mean, granted, I give her credit for sticking on that trajectory. And I think a lot of people, listen, I know if I was anti Kamala, I know if I was anti Kamala, I could, man, my channel would be booming right now. But I feel that it's not in my heart, and it's not something that I want to do. Now, for example, why doesn't Kamala have her policies up on her website, and why is there no policies for Black people? I mean, the debate is about to happen on the 10th. Why doesn't she have that? Like, those are fair questions. Like, what are her policies for Black
That was
people?
gonna be my
We
next
can,
question. What is her policies? Like, that's the only part I'm like, okay, so what is she for? Like, what is the whole like what is your running like situation about? You know? I
right,
really
right,
don't-
right.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
at the same time, um, like, those are fair things. Whether or not she slept her way to, I'm surprised you didn't bring that up. She slept her way to the top.
Yeah, Montel Williams, wasn't she his mistress or something like that and all that crazy stuff? Like,
Yeah. So whether she slept her way up to the top or whether she
and then
black or
she was
not,
sounding
I just
drunk.
feel
I'm
like those are
sorry. She
stupid
sounded drunk.
things. Policy is okay. Policy is okay. Oh, and one moment before you go, I want to say, I don't know if that was for me, Melanin Queen. No, no, no. You're allowed to express like your views and stuff like that. But I just wanted to call out a lie. Like that. That was my thing. I was going to call out a lie. But your opposing views, you're definitely fine to say whatever. Yeah, I'm fine with that. But go ahead, Genesis.
But I do think that it'd be very, very smart to like actually do start doing some political content because as we get closer to this election, it's going to be more and more disinformation that comes out. And it's getting very, very heated. I thought there was going to be a riot at the Democratic National Convention. I thought it was going to get taken down like the 1960s. But, I guess they were able to control it and whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I'm very surprised that everybody got behind Kamala. I I honestly thought it was going to be uh how do I put this? And I'm gonna put myself in it. Did I think people were gonna rally behind a black Indian, whatever you want to call her, woman? No. I thought people would be like, oh no, we need to do the process and everything like that. But honestly, she was going to be the only choice because you got to remember, everything in politics is about money. Joe Biden made sure that all his donors and all his people were going to rally behind Kamala. Once he got that approval, he was like, all right, I'm putting my, hat in the race for Kamala. He released one statement, and then like an hour later, he released another one saying that he backs Kamala as the nominee.
But at first he didn't know, right? Because I know what else
Yeah.
that he
Yeah,
did
the
not
first
have.
statement, it was just he's leaving. And then an hour later, he released a second one saying that he is full support behind Kamala.
And here's another thing. What do you think about the turn down for what at the Democratic National? What do you think about that? That whole and Megan Thee Stallion and all this other like hip hop. Do you think that they're trying to kind of coon their way into the office, like by appealing to the black community? Like, what do you
Well,
think?
what about what's his name? 50 or whatever, foreign. Trump has rappers too and stuff like that. So wouldn't both of them be pandering?
Or was it at the Republican National Convention?
Well, Little John was at the Democratic National Convention. Yes.
Well, you know what? I can't be mad because they did have that girl up there. What's her name?
Amber Rose.
They did kind of do that. So okay,
Yeah, like, so both
they both had
both
a
parties
cringe
do
moment.
do it.
They both had their cringe moment during that issue.
Yeah, but like I said, my thing was that it's funny how at the RNC they didn't have any former presidents talking. They didn't have any former first ladies. Trump didn't even have his first lady speak at the convention. But in the DNC, you had Kamala's husband, you had the Obamas, you had Bill, you had Joe, you had everybody there. Hillary, you had everybody speaking. But the RNC, you didn't have that. They didn't have the support. They had racist, yes, racist Hulk Hogan, Amber Rose. They had those kind of people.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. Yep. I mean, it's interesting, and I think that then here, let me tell you some other crazy stuff. Do you know that they're having a weird thing happening now where they're trying to say that Democrats are attacking Trump supporters? Like, so
Yeah, is that because I didn't even look at the video, but I heard that it was fake. Like the white girl with the Trump shirt that said
yeah,
these black.
yeah.
Yeah, someone said that was fake. I didn't even look at it.
Okay, so that's a fake thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, see, I be like, I be all up in the weird. I be all up on that side of YouTube. That
Yeah. Do you watch TikTok?
no, I've been on Twitter and YouTube. I need to get back on TikToks and get my.
Yeah, get on TikTok. TikTok has a lot of great creators that I follow. But even that, I would say this, Genesis, when you hear something, you be like, damn, that sounds kind of crazy. I would Google the article.
Right.
Just like the whole immigrants getting 150K. I Googled it and I was like, oh, this is not just for immigrants. The anti-Asian hate bill. It's actually called the COVID hate crime bill. So it's like certain things you guys have to remember, like politics is set up just like celebrity gossip. I'm gonna put the title that gets the people in, and then they'll click on it.
The
But
truth will be
really,
at the end of the article.
yes, the truth is gonna be at the end of the article.
The
Yes.
whole first like few paragraphs gonna be a bunch of BS. You got to read the whole thing all the way down to the skip the first 3 paragraphs, go to the middle and toward the end because yeah. So and listen, wasn't I when I found out that stuff about them people in that California situation, the first thing I did is hit you up like, do you see what's going on?
Yes, you
In
did.
California?
Yes.
This is a mess.
Yeah, but I had already knew about it, and I was going to talk about it on a future show. And so this happened to either one. So I was glad that you showed up. But a lot of people were mad at my last video because I put this in the title. I put Kamala Harris lied about working at McDonald's, and I don't care. A lot of people were all like, "Oh, AT2, you trying to sabotage her and blah blah blah." No, I was just saying because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, she didn't put McDonald's on her resume," and I was like, "I never put I only put the jobs that are going to help me get the job on my resume. Why would she put McDonald's?" And I was like, even if she lied about it, I wouldn't care.
Right. Who puts their old like if she was in a high school and worked at McDonald's, who's gonna put that in a resume? I worked at Taco Bell. I don't put that BS in my resume.
Right. A lot of us don't put the fast food job that we had or our first
20
job
years,
on our
right.
resume. A lot of us don't do it.
I worked at Best Buy when I was 15. You know what I'm saying? What? Like, no.
Right.
Right. So thank you for like clarifying a lot of things. I think this was good to like, to get some things cleared up because I guess I didn't read all the stuff, but I was getting some Twitter can get you hyped up.
Yes.
Twitter will make you
Yes.
mad as heck. If you just scroll down Twitter, it will get you pissed. Like, and especially when you start to like friend certain people, you start seeing what they're saying. You like what? And it'll make your mind like start to go down a tunnel, and you'll be like, you be mad as hell. Like, what the heck? I can't believe that they did that. God dang it! You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even what they did because the people are only putting out a portion of that stuff. They're showing the video of it like a snippet. Oh, look, these people are dancing because they passed a law giving illegal immigrants free housing. That's what the thing said.
That's why I was all like, where did you get that thing dancing and stuff like that from?
Yeah.
But again, you got it from Twitter. Yeah, and again, Elon Musk is trying to it owns Twitter and he's pro-Trump. So, a lot of stuff you're gonna see is all going to be pro-Trump, especially if you're in that sector. They're not going to give you any other information.
Wow, so that's why I've been on the Trump train ever since. Like I have not, I'm not on it because I don't.
Right. No, I know what you mean, but you're getting a lot of the pro-Trump and anti-Kamala stuff. Yeah.
Right. That's crazy. So the owner of it is for Trump. So therefore, because I'm like, why is he allowing Myron and people like that? You know who Myron is, right?
Yeah, and Myron wants to be white. Did you hear about that?
Man, he said he is white. Myron has been on.
He said he is white.
Yeah, he said even though he's Sudanese and everything like that,
Yeah,
he's against the FBAs, and
then he had the nerve to put a white sheet on his head and make monkey noise. Like,
and he's going into like the spaces of the white supremacist space groups.
Yeah,
crazy how Elon Musk allows. If you go on
just
Twitter,
like the N-word went up 200% when Elon Musk took over or some like it's some crazy percentage that the N word went up because they don't block that word no more.
They don't block nothing on Twitter. That's why I've been like, man, this is crazy. Like, what is going on? Because it's like a war going on, like a whole race war going on Twitter. And Myron's at the head of it. You have the FBAs against Myron, and you got the supremacists that they're all trolling each other. It's crazy, and it's like, wow, I can't believe this is going on. I hope this does not spill out into the society. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure how. And what's happening, what they'll do is they'll play it on Twitter and then they'll put it on YouTube. So it's getting kind of crazy. So yeah, Twitter is wild. Twitter is something else.
This is why I always say, look it up.
Yeah, Twitter is wild.
Look, yeah, it's huh?
Yeah, I need to take your advice because I have been getting influenced by Twitter pretty much. So, like, God dang these people.
Yeah, but Genesis, I want to say thank you for coming up. And then if there's any misconceptions or anything that you want clarification, please DM me, and then I'll do a show on it, and we can have a conversation like this. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys feel like this conversation was productive. I honestly feel like this conversation was really good and it was really needed because I feel like so many people, they just throw information out there and then like nobody does the research and actually look at it. They just use the headline and it's all like, well, damn, if you just using the headline, we'll all be thinking crazy shit.
Listen, I could be the test dummy because I'll be like, listen, I'll be eating that shit up on Twitter. Like, damn it.
And Genesis, we know your ass is gullible. I ain't gonna go into your history, but we know how gullible you are.
Man, I was believing all that stuff, not even knowing the whole story and everything. God dang it, Kamala. I can't believe she said she's not gonna help the black people. You know, I was really mad at this whole thing. I'm like, but come to find out. You gotta talk to people that read. You know what I'm saying? When they say you want to hide something, put it in a book.
Put it in a book. Yeah. And make sure you guys are registered or check your registration because in Texas, oh yeah, you in Texas, huh?
Yeah, Texas, I'm in Dallas, Texas, yeah.
Yeah, they removed like 1.5 million people off the registration. Did you hear about that?
No, I had no idea.
No, they're saying some of those people done died and like some were not illegal immigrants. Some people were this and that. 1.5 is a lot of people just to remove.
Let me tell you,
it's a lot. They're removing people too.
It's a lot of immigrants here that are illegal. If all you gotta do is go up to Home Depot and you'll see about 100 of them.
Just get your ass up out of here. But thank you for coming up. I appreciate it. Next time you go to www.vote.org, okay?
Genesis, you believe Rock Nation was hunting Jaguar? No, I thought it was the mob, the mafia.
Oh my God. Bye. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get the hell up out of here. I appreciate every single one of y'all. This was definitely a good show. I'm glad that we're able to clarify a lot of information, a lot of misconceptions. And again, I appreciate all of y'all opinion. I'm not saying that anybody's opinion is wrong or somebody has the better opinion. This is why I love having these conversations because the more you know, the more you do better. That's basically it. I love y'all. Be safe out there. I'm still not eating those nasty booty cat greens that Kamala cooked, but you know, I am going to vote for her.
Kamala Harris, why is she in my DM? Huh? She stay in my DM. Oh, y'all be thinking I'm playing. I'm not playing. Kamala Harris. She in my DM, bitch.